You understand my intent. I still get people, well, just don't say it. And I said, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, but they take it out of context and put it on Twitter.
You should stop telling me what to do. You go do it. You want to support stuff that the government should stay out of? You go do it. No one's stopping you from paying more taxes.
I mean, first of all, he wants to know what the face of woke look like. And here's what I picture. These trolls that hide behind their computer or their screens and their laptops and their keyboard.
Hollywood's favorite anti-woke comedian, Tim Allen, has never been one to hold back. He's spent years lifting the veil on the industry's hidden truths, saying what most wouldn't dare to. Now, he's back at it again, making waves with yet another bold statement. And the fallout? Let's just say it's causing quite the stir. So, what exactly did he call out in Hollywood this time? And how is the industry responding? You won't want to miss this.
It's disturbing on a fundamental level. It's gotten to the point where literally there's part of me, a deep part of me, that just, F it.
Pure mayhem. With just one tweet, Twitter mobs went into a full-blown meltdown. Tim Allen put them on blast, and they absolutely lost it. In no time, the cancel brigade was out in full force, treating it like their favorite pastime. But let's be honest, Tim isn't the kind of guy to back down or let the outrage machine tell him what he can and can't say. That's just not how he rolls. And here's the twist. It's not just this one tweet sending woke Hollywood into a frenzy. Just look at his notorious Disneyland visit. Oh, he knew exactly what he was doing. And as expected, the backlash was just as wild as you'd imagine.
Do you still enjoy stand-up, my friend, as much as you did in the early days?
There's moments that it's more, it reminds me of my anarchist background.
During a casual day at the park, Tim Allen overheard something that stopped him in his tracks. A 13-year-old jokingly wondering if he was pansexual just because he liked skillets. Classic Tim moment, right? Of course, his response sparked an uproar. The woke crowd wasted no time labeling him as insensitive, but let's be real. Hollywood's issue with Tim isn't about harmless jokes. They can't stand him because he's unafraid to ask the uncomfortable questions they'd rather ignore.
Man, Stanley, congrats on this.
No, thanks very much.
I watched it when it was on ABC,
right,
and then all of a sudden it wasn't on ABC.
They've thrown everything at Tim Allen in an attempt to cancel him, but he refuses to play by Hollywood's unwritten rules. From social media pile-ons to pulling him from screens, they've tried it all. But Tim isn't one to back down. Just look at what happened when ABC canceled Last Man Standing. In case you didn't know, it was one of ABC's highest-rated shows, right behind Modern Family. So, yes, cutting it wasn't just any decision. It was a bold move against one of their most watched programs.
The best show I've ever been on. What? We're off the air. We all thought we were at the top of their game at ABC. Who knows how networks work? I don't know, but it was dropped.
In fact, it was ABC's second highest rated show, right behind Modern Family. And yet, they axed it without hesitation. Why? Because Tim had the audacity to showcase something rarely seen in mainstream TV. A conservative character that audiences genuinely liked.
The presidential inauguration, right?
I was invited by, we did a VIP thing for the vets and went to the Veterans Ball, and so I went to go see Democrats and Republicans. Yeah, I went to the inauguration.
In Hollywood, being both funny and likable while holding conservative values is practically unforgivable. As Tim himself once put it, there's nothing more dangerous in today's world than a conservative who can make people laugh.
You're getting this down. I'm not kidding. You got to be real careful around here. You get beat up. If you don't believe what everybody believes, this is like 30s Germany.
He made it crystal clear that Last Man Standing wasn't canceled due to low ratings or poor performance. It was all about politics. ABC wanted to send a message, plain and simple. But here's the twist. If they thought taking him off the air would silence him, they couldn't have been more wrong. Instead of fading into the background, Tim only became more outspoken. He doubled down, proving once again that he refuses to play by Hollywood's rules. And that's exactly why they can't stand him.
Hey everybody, welcome to season 7 of All right, here we go. Good, cloudy folks.
While ABC tried to shut him down, Fox came to the rescue, picking up Last Man Standing without missing a beat. Instead of losing his platform, Tim found a fresh stage where he could still connect with his loyal fans. Hollywood thought they could silence him, but Tim ended up thriving. The new home for his show allowed him to reach an even broader audience, and as always, he came out on top, proving that no matter what they throw his way, Tim Allen's voice can't be silenced. He had the ultimate last laugh,
In Christmas for us, then this guy. For nearly 30 years, Tim Allen has become synonymous with Santa Claus.
I'm in big trouble.
Then there's Tim Allen's latest project, The Santa Clauses on Disney+. The fact that Disney chose to bring him back speaks volumes. It's clear that despite all the attempts to cancel or silence him, Tim isn't going anywhere. Hollywood might try to censor him here and there, but they can't deny one undeniable fact. Tim Allen has a fiercely loyal fan base that keeps him relevant, and that's something the industry just can't overlook. This new series proves that even when the world tries to push him out, Tim always finds a way to stay in the spotlight.
Peyton's on the show, but I'm dressed as Santa Claus. So he's doing the same look to me. He's going, oh, look at you. And I go, no, man, I'm a fan, but I'm under 7 feet of makeup.
Despite how harmless it was, the backlash was undeniable. Podcaster and filmmaker Scott Weinberg tweeted about it, and from there, things quickly escalated. The internet came for Tim, accusing him of, incredibly enough, injecting right-wing politics into a holiday show. But here's the uncomfortable reality. This isn't just a Twitter mob moment. Tim's fighting against a whole Hollywood system built to suppress voices like his. As he aptly puts it, the thought police are everywhere. The attempt to cancel him isn't just about one tweet or joke, it's about a broader effort to silence dissenting views.
Hate in big arenas that this is a thought police thing, and I do not like it. But when I use these words, this is my intent behind those words.
Tim's been vocal about how political correctness has completely reshaped the comedy world, making it almost impossible for comedians to take any real risks. And he doesn't hold back when talking about how it's affected his work. Growing up, Tim was inspired by comedy legends like Richard Pryor and Lenny Bruce, icons who weren't afraid to challenge norms and push boundaries. But things have changed drastically. Every joke is scrutinized, every word dissected. For comedians like Tim, it's nothing short of a nightmare. He even joked during an appearance on The View that he'd probably get canceled today just for repeating things he grew up hearing from his own parents.
I do use some provocative words, but I tell them it's words that really got from my parents. Yeah. You know, they said this stuff, and we talked about it. I can't even say it here. I can't even point to it.
Despite how harmless the moment was, the backlash was anything but. Podcaster and filmmaker Scott Weinberg shared the line on Twitter, and from there, it quickly spiraled out of control. The internet erupted, accusing Tim of sneaking right-wing politics into a beloved holiday show. But here's the unsettling reality. This isn't just about a few angry tweets. Tim is up against a massive Hollywood system designed to suppress voices like his. As he bluntly puts it, the thought police are everywhere. This isn't about one isolated incident. It's about a continuous effort to stifle free speech in the entertainment industry. Tim Allen hasn't just stood his ground. He's doubled down. When faced with the harshest backlash, he's taken a fearless stance, refusing to back down. Instead of succumbing to the pressures of being canceled, he's chosen to confront any and all criticism head-on, putting his integrity first and refusing to conform to a system that seeks to stifle his voice. This unapologetic attitude is exactly why Hollywood can't seem to get rid of him, no matter how hard they try. When ABC made the decision to cancel Last Man Standing, one of their highest-rated shows, Tim didn't disappear into the background. Instead, Fox swooped in, ready to pick up where ABC left off. Despite the efforts of the entertainment industry to silence him, Tim Allen emerged victorious, proving that his voice was too powerful to suppress. Even Disney's controversial decision to replace him as Buzz Lightyear in the Lightyear movie didn't seem to faze him. Instead of cowering, Tim boldly moved forward with The Santa Clauses on Disney+, taking on a new role that still managed to stir controversy in its own way, much to the dismay of Hollywood's critics. Through it all, Tim has demonstrated time and time again that he refuses to be controlled by the industry's ever-changing rules or the pressures of modern political correctness. His refusal to back down when the tides of cancel culture come crashing down is a testament to his strength of character. Tim knows exactly who he is and has no intention of bending to the expectations set by others. His relentless pushback against the cancel culture phenomenon has made him one of the few figures in Hollywood who stands confidently, unapologetically, and with integrity. But what exactly makes Tim Allen so hard for Hollywood to cancel, despite the ongoing backlash? It all comes down to his authenticity. Tim has made a career out of being unafraid to speak his mind and portray characters that defy the typical mold of Hollywood expectations. It's not that he's doing anything inherently controversial, it's that he's simply refusing to change who he is. In an industry that often demands conformity, Tim is the outlier. And for that reason alone, he's become a target. One of the most significant examples of this came with the cancellation of Last Man Standing. When ABC axed the show, many people wondered why such a popular, high-performing series was being cut. After all, it was one of ABC's highest-rated shows, trailing just behind Modern Family in terms of viewership. But the cancellation wasn't about ratings, and it certainly wasn't about performance. Instead, it had everything to do with the political leanings of the show and its star. Tim Allen's portrayal of Mike Baxter, a conservative family man with an unapologetic attitude, was seen as controversial in a climate that increasingly rejects conservative views. Hollywood doesn't exactly make space for people like Tim, those who refuse to adhere to the unspoken rules of left-leaning political correctness. In an interview after the show's cancellation, Tim himself made it clear that the decision wasn't about ratings or performance, but about politics. It was about Hollywood's attempt to send a message about what is acceptable and what isn't. It wasn't about what the audience wanted, but about what the powers that be in Hollywood were willing to tolerate. For Tim, the cancellation of Last Man Standing was a clear example of how the entertainment industry silences voices that don't fit into their narrow definition of acceptable. But instead of retreating in defeat, Tim embraced the challenge head-on. When Fox decided to pick up Last Man Standing, Tim didn't miss a beat. It was proof that no matter how hard the industry tries to push him out, Tim Allen's fan base remains steadfast and loyal. In fact, the move to Fox allowed the show to reach even more viewers, proving that Tim's popularity wasn't limited by the constraints of one network or the political battles being waged behind the scenes. Fox didn't hesitate to scoop up the show, recognizing that Tim Allen's appeal was larger than any controversy or attempt at canceling him. He was an asset to their programming, and they weren't about to let that go. But the pushback didn't stop there. Tim's relationship with Disney, and the controversial decision to replace him as Buzz Lightyear in Lightyear, is another example of how Hollywood attempted to silence him. When Disney chose to recast the beloved character of Buzz, many saw it as a direct affront to Tim's legacy in the role. However, rather than being disheartened, Tim showed his true resilience. He wasn't going to let Hollywood dictate his career path. Instead of fading into obscurity, Tim took the opportunity to return to Disney with the Santa Clauses, a new show that allowed him to continue making the kind of content that resonated with his audience. The Santa Clauses on Disney Plus is a prime example of how Tim remains an undeniable force in Hollywood. The show's premiere has caused a stir, largely due to its willingness to address issues in a way that resonates with audiences who feel neglected by mainstream entertainment. Tim's portrayal of Santa Claus remains a timeless character, and in this new series, he continues to challenge the typical norms of Hollywood storytelling. While some critics may disapprove of his approach, his fans remain loyal, and that's something Hollywood can't ignore. So what is it about Tim Allen that makes him so impervious to the cancel culture movement? It's his unwavering commitment to staying true to himself. He's never been one to toe the line, and he's always been willing to face controversy head-on. Unlike many other public figures, Tim refuses to apologize for his beliefs or his comedy. He's been vocal about his refusal to bend to the pressures of modern outrage culture, and he's made it clear that he won't change his comedy just to appease the critics. As Tim himself pointed out, the current climate of cancel culture can feel like high school, where people are ready to tear down anyone who makes the smallest misstep. For many comedians, cancel culture has instilled a deep sense of fear, making it nearly impossible to take risks or tell edgy jokes. But not Tim. He's embraced the challenge, pushing forward with boldness and determination, despite the growing backlash. He knows that staying authentic to his comedic style is more important than appeasing an angry mob. In one interview, he even joked that in today's cancel culture, he'd probably get canceled just for using phrases that his parents commonly said. Tim's resilience is precisely why he's become one of the few figures who remains virtually untouchable in Hollywood. His refusal to conform to the narrative and his unshakable confidence have earned him a spot in Hollywood that isn't dictated by the whims of the woke mob. He's carved out a space for himself that isn't controlled by the cancel culture machine, and he's proven that he can thrive on his own terms. By staying true to himself and refusing to let Hollywood dictate his actions, Tim Allen has made it clear that he's here to stay, on his own terms. Hollywood may have tried to cancel him, but in the end, they've only solidified his place as one of the most enduring figures in the industry. So, what's your take? Is cancel culture going too far when it comes to Tim Allen, or does he deserve the criticism? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into today's hottest topics. If this video grabbed your attention, we've got another one lined up that you're sure to enjoy.